Hello friends, my name is Ganesh UR. I secured All India Rank 39 in Indian Forest Service Examination 2018. I am here to share some methods and objective strategies which help me clear Forest Service cutoff in Civil Service Preliminary Examination. In all the three attempts I have written. As you may know, due to limited number of vacant seats, Forest Service cutoff is nearly 10 to 15 marks higher than the normal civil service cutoff. Therefore, there needs to be a concerted, planned and dedicated effort if we have to clear preliminary so as to appear in the Indian Forest Service main examination. So, coming to certain pointers which helped me score 142 in my first prelims. I crossed Forest Service cutoff, 128 to 130 in the second, and in this year's preliminary nearly 116 to 121 as per various keys. I believe there are some objective factors which helps us control our prelims preparation in a way we can tackle any bouncer or uncertainty thrown by the UPSC. Which all are that factors? I'll boil it down to 5-6 pointers. The first pointer is there is no compromise on attempting all the questions. In every preliminary I have attempted from 97 to 100 questions. The key is you are leaving a question only if you know nothing about any of the options provided. That means 97 or more attempts you have to make in preliminary if you have to clear Indian Forest Service cutoff. Otherwise, it is a game of high accuracy which as per probability will not always work in our favor. Therefore, 97 or plus, 97 or plus you have to attempt in civil service preliminary. It's non-negotiable. How do you attempt this? That is point number 2. The point is you have to attempt questions you don't know. The key, I believe, to clear preliminary is that you have to get correct all the questions everyone is getting corrected. In addition, you need to have that X factor, those questions which some people leave, so that you come out of the normal herd, you come out of the general marks in preliminary towards the Indian Forest Service cutoff. How do we score that? That leads to my third pointer of intelligent guessing. The process of eliminating options, even in questions you don't know, using some facts, some pointers you have learned throughout your preparation, is how you get an extra edge, is how you solve a question you don't know. Let me give you an example. In certain questions, you may feel like you don't know the question at all. So some candidates have a tendency to skip the question at that stage. But we have to remember that preliminary is a multiple choice exam. Therefore, answers are given in the question. You need to just deduce the answer, select an answer out of the 4 answers given. Therefore, what I call pre-existing knowledge base, or throughout your preparation, you must have heard something related to each option given. So try to eliminate at least one option, and if you can eliminate at least one option, try to take an intelligent guess, and with enough practice, chances are that you will get it. So that leads to my next pointer, that is practice. Quite surprisingly, during my multiple interactions with various Forest Service toppers of previous year and including this year, I have quite surprisingly found that a common thread runs among all this, and that is the number of tests they have all taken. So I call this rule 10,000 into 3 rule. What is 10,000 into 3 rule? Solve 10,000 questions in 3 iterations. This may sound a little like exaggeration, but trust me, it is not. All you need is 90 days where you dedicate 10 to 12 hours for preparation, and you can comfortably do this. What is 10,000 questions? 10,000 questions is nothing but 100 test papers. So either you enroll it or you get it from market or websites, but solve repeatedly these 100 papers 3 times, which includes you solve it, then you study the key very exhaustively, and then you will, to your astonishment, you will find that there is no question in UPSC that even one option or one keyword of it that you may not have heard. This will help you eliminate several options. This will help you boil down to the right option in a matter of time. One other pointer that I believe will give us the extra edge. Remember, I'm talking about the X factors which we can get, which will help us sail through the forest service cutoff. X factor is what I call a visualization technique. So if you, this especially applies to concepts like portions like environment and culture. So suppose you are reading about say Mughal architecture or architecture of Delhi Sultanate in Indian art and culture book. What you can do is immediately Google it, and in Google Images just go through different visuals of the same. So how this will help you is that when a question is asked, even if question is not you have read, from certain keywords will give you a mental picture, and using the visualization techniques you can recollect better. Because I believe prelims preparation is very exhaustive in the sense we go through an ocean of facts, ocean of knowledge. So if you have to churn out, if you have to boil out the necessary facts, it is always helpful if you have a visual aided memory. So whenever you read something, say National Park, say Periyar Tiger Reserve you are reading, immediately Google Periyar Tiger Reserve and see the picture of an elephant or a tiger. So if a question comes like which national park, which wildlife sanctuary connects Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats, when those kind of questions comes, you will find that your visual memory aids you better than whatever you have read. So that is one technique which you can use to improvise your memory better. Another technique I found useful was to have an edge in areas people usually leave, and one area which comes to my mind immediately is the area of tribals. UPSC has always tended to ask questions on tribals, especially the PVTGs, the particularly vulnerable tribal groups. Many students, finding that this is a difficult area, tend to leave the area, but I found that if I attend that area well, I will get an edge over other aspirants. So I prepared the area well. So identify such areas and consolidate that areas by referring to previous year questions, by referring to certain websites like Vikaspedia, where you can get enough knowledge to tackle such questions. Now that brings me to my next pointer, which is previous year questions. Friends, believe me, having cleared this exam with God's grace, when I look back, I can feel that what helps us clear this exam is a thorough understanding of the demand of the exam at various stages, be it prelims, mains or interview. And this especially applies to preliminary. So the question comes, how do we know which area, how do we know what is the demand of UPSC? And let me tell you that previous year questions are a clear indication of what UPSC demands from us. I remember buying a book of Wizard publication which had previous year questions solved. After reading a specific portion of modern Indian history, after reading a specific portion of geography, I remember taking up the book and solving it exhaustively, going through the keys repeatedly, so that the next time I read the book, I tend to get a clear picture of what UPSC is expecting from the chapter. This especially applies to static areas like modern Indian history or static geography or ancient history as such, where UPSC keeps repeating questions, or even if not repeating questions, there are certain central areas which can fetch us good dividends. I think all sorts of publications are available in the market, so I think a serious aspirant should definitely go through the previous year questions which are published by different booklets and consolidate them and reorient your preparation in such a manner that you get the demand of the exam through the process. One other pointer I can share with respect to is maintaining what I call and what I deduce from a former AI3 in civil service of maintaining an error book. Having gone through different test series, you take a book which can be either in Evernote or offline. You maintain a book. I made it in Evernote. In my Evernote, I had an error book. In that, there was geography. So in geography error book, there were all explainers and questions which I made wrong while practicing tests. Similarly, I had it for history, for culture. For every topic we had to do in preliminary. The advantage is that due to crunch of time, you will not be able to revise everything that you have read. But if you maintain an error book, you will be able to quickly revise all concepts you have gone through in a short matter of time. And if you do it repeatedly, it is a guaranteed promise that you will never repeat the error again. Here also, I will request you to connect the two techniques I have mentioned, the visualization and error book. When you are, suppose you made a question relating to a Jim Corbett, and next time when you are making your error book, download an image from Google Image and attach to Evernote so that it sticks to your mind. Jim Corbett, the image sticks to your mind and it never goes wrong again. So that is one way you can ensure that one mistake you made never gets repeated. That is one way of ensuring that your memory remains very sharp. Then with respect to test series, I would recommend that you take quality test series. It's not about quantity. You take quality test series, many of which are available in market. Then I would like to recommend some niche test series which help me. For example, in environment culture, I remember taking a test series of Clear IAS website, which helped me score good high in all the attempts. I remember specifically because I especially remember culture, because 100 questions of Clear IAS test series, when I solved and when I revised their keys and repeatedly revised them, almost all culture was covered in a very short time. So that is one way you can do it. So be smart and be subscribe to test series which are known for their quality rather than quantity. Then another technique and which I used was repeated revision of your own notes is immensely helpful, because that will strike you the first when you see a question. And another aspect I find worth recollecting is that you need not do standard books everyone is suggesting. Certain books like Indian Polity, Lakshmikant, or Spectrum, Modern Indian History, is indispensable. There is no way we can circumpass it. If you can do it, well and good, but make sure your concepts are very strong. But there, for environment, I found a book by PMF IAS, Poor Man's Friend, much more helpful than other conventional resources. It is very exhaustive. It clubs the merits of different books available in the market, and it is available at a throwaway price, which is helpful for all aspirants. In addition to static areas in preliminary, I believe areas like environment, culture, current affairs, if done well, can give us the extra edge with respect to scoring good marks for with respect to Indian Forest Service cutoff. Now, how can we have that? I think environment, a book called PMF IAS, Compilation of Environmental Topics, was of immense help, because it had because of two things. One, it was available at a throwaway price. It compiles the merits of different books available in the market, and also after every concept it attaches a previous year question so that we can reorient our preparation in tune with the demand of the UPSC. With respect to culture, the strategy I followed was I found that memorizing culture, rote learning culture will be very cumbersome. So I tried to enjoy the process. And how did I do it? I referred to many different sources of culture. I would like to throw a word of caution that you do it if you have enough time. Otherwise, if you are in the brink of your preparation, you can smartly adopt Nitin Singhania. I'll give you a smart technique to do Nitin Singhania. First, do the chapters where Nitin Singhania sir has attached previous year questions to. And within those previous, first solve the previous year questions and then read the chapter, so that you will get an idea. Like I said, reorienting your thought process in line with the UPSC. And also while revising, try to read all the red colored things in the book. While revising, try to focus on that rather than reading the entire book. And if you have time, refer to CCRT, which is an excellent source for preparing culture. Though it looks exhaustive, it's very enjoyable. Also, try to see different videos provided by different entity. I remember Vision IAS had uploaded certain videos which were immensely helpful in learning art forms, cultural, other dance forms, etc. That is of immense help. And while concluding, one thing I can vouch for is prelims is an area where hard work and smart work is needed. You have to slog a little, definitely, because there is enough volume to cover, and you have to do it in a smart way so that your work pays rich dividends in the exam. But with enough support from our parents, from our friends, from our family, with enough dedication to practice the 10,000 into 3 rule and different smart strategies, and enough calmness so that we attempt the exam with full confidence, I think clearing prelims with Indian Forest Service cutoff will not be a challenge, will be a manageable task. And I wish all the aspirants the best of luck in the coming examination. Thank you.